and then flip the timer. I've got the backing track playing in my head.
I mean, is it high fidelity in your head?
No, that's a really interesting question. I don't know. I think my brain thinks it's high fidelity in my head. I'm gonna be honest with you, I actually have no idea how the human brain encodes sound. Or the memory of sound.
Yeah, that part I can't talk about. I mean, I could talk at length about how sound waves are turned into electrical impulses, but that's as far as I've got.
No, that part that part I think I'm good on. It's the when I remember the opening bars to Beethoven's Fifth, how were they encoded?
Mm-hmm.
Like, were they encoded at 96 kilohertz, or does my brain remember it being high fidelity? And like, what's the difference, right? It's all. Once the question is like, how does perception work? I don't think there's any real answer.
I'm surprised you went sound, right? So I thought we were going to go video with all the imaging background.
And, I mean, I could do either, but my graduate work was on sound, so.
I had no idea.
Oh yeah, no slide deck.
Oh, did it go away?
Yeah.
Is it back?
It's back.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know why that is. We're meddling in things that should not be meddled with. As you know, OBS is a static target, and Discord is the most well-written software ever made. And both of those are stripping different layers of video and audio out of Windows, the most predictable operating system for video and audio streaming.
Oh, don't worry. I sent a link to myself in chat. Look at options.
Right. I'd like to thank you for watching this while it's happening, such that you are bumping up the average view duration. It's a very kind thing to do.
Well, you need a program feed, right?
I think the big boy version of this is NDI everywhere. Everybody gets their own NDI feed. Do whatever with what you want with it.
I would not put that on.
NDI
Don't
NDI
think
6 is
India-
supposed to be resilient to internet latency and bandwidth constriction issues.
Yeah, but not at like it's or
Well,
something.
No,
I can't
but
push that.
standard please upgrade your internet comment. Fortunately, no one can see you trying to throw your camera. It's probably better that way.
Another wrinkle in this whole thing is how boosted the Discord is.
That's an interesting question, because there's going to be whatever... depends on how it's interfacing with the Windows audio library. Which, if I recall, there's actually a checkbox hiding somewhere in Discord's configuration, dictating precisely how you're interfacing with the Windows audio library.
There's two methods.
The answer is never. You're never doing it well. How's that? All right, we're 30 seconds to showtime here.
Are we going head to head? First to 10 or
First to 10. Yeah, I've got time to set up 10 concurrent bring a trailer challenges. No, it's going to be standard show format, and the only thing at stake is your honor. All right, let's get this show on the road, which means me hitting one of these buttons. I think it's this one. Tonight, on Tonight We Race, we actually do nothing of the sort. This is what we like to call a technical test of the show. It's been a couple weeks since we brought you the final Wednesday episode in the secret underground racing laboratory, and right now we're in my not secret home office, where we are testing some additional technology, not least of which is broadcasting straight to YouTube as opposed to going to Twitch and then uploading video later, and also having an internet-only episode with actual live humans on the other end of it, which is not something we've done in the past. So, laws all around, who knows what's going to happen. Let's cut to the desk deck. Hey, got it. Awesome. So the only thing we're actually going to do tonight is a Bring a Trailer challenge. And in order to do a Bring a Trailer challenge, we of course need a driver from the green room. Lacking a green room in this particular setup, we are instead going to summon a Shoat via the magic of the internet. Hi, Shoat.
Ooh, the internet.
Now, you've done this before. You know exactly what you're getting into, right?
Yes, make bad guesses, get pretend points.
Yep, nope, you got it exactly. So, the format for anyone who hasn't seen this before is we are going to present two Bring a Trailer Challenge completed auctions. Auctions that are over, the money has been spent, they were real auctions, they had real bids, and they have completed within the last 24 hours, and so they are extremely recent. The nature of the vehicles, or sometimes even not vehicles that have been brought into this, are of course subject to my sole discretion, which means they may or may not be fair for some definition of fair, but we try. Shoat, are you ready for your first challenge?
Let's do this.
All right. Item number one, a 2003 BMW M3 Coupe 6-speed. And that is Laguna Seca Blue. In my opinion, the best BMW M3 ever made, although some would argue it's the E36 or even the E30, versus an 8,000-mile example of the 2020 Ford Mustang Shelby GT350R, which was a car that Ford started making when they wanted to get serious about Mustangs turning around corners and changing their direction. Would you like to learn a little bit about these cars?
Yeah, this seems quite disparate.
I agree. So, the M3, obviously delivered in Laguna Seca Blue. That is the original color. That is the most desirable color of the car. The interior is anthracite impulse cloth and black leather, which is an excellent SKU. This one was initially delivered to the Woodlands in Texas, where it remained for more than a decade. It now carries 54,000 miles on it. And the dealer acquired it in 2024, and so this is somewhat of a flip. Subsequent work performed on it included more than $31,000 for refreshing both the interior and exterior, adjusting the valves on the super sweet inline 6 naturally aspirated engine. It's a 3.2 inline. It's got about 250 foot-pounds of torque, about 250 horsepower. It's got a Harman Kardon system, and most importantly, at least in my opinion, it is the 6-speed manual, which means that it dodged the horrendously bad sequential manual that BMW put on the M3 in that generation. It, of course, features, as a BMW 3 Series, perfect 50-50 weight balance. Clean Carfax, clean Ohio title. I don't know why Ohio particularly. The only thing really I think anyone can complain about in this generation of 3 Series is that the interior is somewhat Spartan and all the gauge clusters are like German orange for their lighting, which may or may not be your thing. The Mustang is a 8,000-mile example. It features the 5.2-liter Voodoo V8, also linked to a 6-speed manual transmission with the Torsen limited slip differential. So both of them have mechanical limited diffs and 6-speed manuals. This one's got carbon fiber 7-spoke wheels, which, depending on how you get them and what the quality are, that can be anywhere from a $10,000 to $20,000 option on a vehicle. This one comes with its window sticker, its owner's manual, and all the bits and pieces. It has semi-racing buckets, so they are adjustable, and though they do feature the over-the-shoulder belt straps, I would not call them racing qualified. This thing produces 526 256 horsepower and 429 foot-pounds of torque. Revs to 8,000, which is not something you got out a lot of V8s from the prior Mustang generations. And this one sold in Tracy, California. Features all of its factory bits and pieces and is a clean title. And now, Shoat, you have to tell me which one of these sold for more.
You said clean title. I didn't hear anything about a clean Carfax.
And a clean Carfax, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Both clean title and clean Carfax. As far as I know, both are pristine, although the M3 has had a refurb. They all have all of the listed packages you would expect out of them. The only one that kind of raised my eyebrows was the carbon fiber on the Stang.
Right. Also, the Mustang being very new and low mileage in comparison. I feel like that's a trap.
It's a Trap is not here this evening.
Yeah, I can't phone a friend, huh? I'm gonna go for the Trap. I'm going for the Mustang.
All right. Shoat says the Mustang. He's locked in. Drysil, you want to hazard a guess before I press the button?
I mean, I think my main concern with the BMW is the fact that it was in Ohio despite the refurb. That means that the frame might have seen some salt. I'm not super excited about that, so I'm with Shoat.
All right. The ruling on the field is the Mustang, and the answer is the Mustang. But
wow, but not
the Mustang, but not by much. And I think that this is a testament of how bonkers BMW people are for relatively pristine examples of what is, again, arguably the best M3 they ever made. Certainly the last M3 before they moved to the V8s or turbocharging everything, and of course the one that does not have the SMG transmission. I too was surprised, and yes, it did look like a trap, but there you go.
Yikes.
So that was your first challenge. That's a point for Shoat, 1 internet point. Your second challenge for the night. This 2023 C8 Chevy Corvette Stingray convertible.
Too many angles.
Which means, obviously, it has a removable hard top in this case. Or this twin turbocharged 2010 Audi R8 V10 Coupe 6-speed manual, and I will note before we get into the Vette that there is no factory twin turbocharged Audi R8. So let's talk about this a little.
Wait, what?
The Vette is a 2023 with 5,000 miles on it. It carries the spectacular 6.2-liter LT2 V8 and 8-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. They do not sell Corvettes in manuals anymore. Titanium exhaust, hypersonic gray paint, jetback leather. The 20s are up front and the 21s are in the rear. It has the Z51 performance package. Everything that can be carbon fiber is carbon fiber. It has magneto-rheological suspension control, which means it goes up and down on magnets, Bose sound system, a performance data recorder, and as I mentioned previously, the top comes off of it. This is, of course, this is the C8 Corvette, which means that it is the first generation of quote-unquote new Corvettes with the engine in the middle and not up front as God intended for Chevrolet. And so some people consider this to be the betrayal Corvette. I, of course, think that the C7 was betrayal Corvette when they started using Camaro styling for all of the bits and pieces. We've got lots of examples of like aftermarket doodads, like the Street Hunter FRP hood with carbon fiber inserts, an aftermarket carbon fiber splitter. The factory stuff.
Aftermarket things are on the car.
Yeah. So like a lot of the like, wow, I don't remember there being sharp lines on that thing there are aftermarket carbon fiber bits and pieces. It comes with both keys, one of which all the plastic has been ripped out and replaced with, you guessed it, carbon fiber. It's got its original stickers. That's the Vette.
Carbon fiber stickers?
Yeah. The Audi is the R8 V10, which was the bigger of the engines they make and made for the R8. You may know that engine as also being code shared with Lamborghini. That is the engine that underlied the Gallardo for all of its generations. They shared that SKU. And so it's a 5.2 liter FSI V10, and of course it drives all four wheels using Quattro, Audi's all-wheel drive technology, unlike the Vette, which is rear-wheel drive only. Carries the convenience package, LED lighting, the parking system plus with rear view camera, the Audi Concert CD stereo navigation, the heated power adjustable seats, carbon fiber interior trim, etc., etc., etc. It was acquired by the dealer in 24 and it is being flipped. Clean Carfax, clean New Jersey title. The big message here, of course, is that at some point in the past, not detailed in this description, it was taken to a tuning shop and it had a Hefner twin turbo bolted on the top of the engine bay. They are not recording in the auction how much power the engine is now producing. So in addition to being a high-speed V10, which is a very rare engine, it is a twin turbocharged V10. And that's also, they're kind enough to inform us that it had an oil change this year. And so, here you have these two expressions of sports car.
The trap this time is the newer car, but you said R8, and then you also said extra turbo. And I feel like R8s were pretty nuts. I mean, even now, but back in that day. So I feel like the Stingray Corvette doodad, with a lot of work done, probably took a hit in value. I'm gonna go Audi.
Shoat goes with the Audi for a bunch of reasons that we'll talk about in just a second. Drysil, you want to get a word in here before I press the button?
Boy, the Corvette, everything about it suggests to me that it's just going to fall apart in a year and you're going to have a massive work on your hands. Those magnetic things are just going to crash. It's going to be awful. But having said that, I think it's the more valuable car.
All right. Well, fortunately, you're not on the hook for this one, so let's see how Shoat did. It is the Audi by about $35,000. So, a couple things going on here. I agree with everything everyone said here. Like, the Corvette is cheap and plasticky. That's always been true of Corvette since, like, the C5 Forward. It's cheap and plasticky. At the end of the day, they are a dime a dozen. It's not a Z06. It's not a ZL1. The special, all the special things about that particular Corvette were added aftermarket with stickers. Paradoxically, the V10 on the R8 was considered by many to be a perfect engine, and the fact that someone would come in afterwards and slap twin turbos on top of it, which is not a configuration it was really ever meant to handle, is going to do horrible things to the reliability of the engine in the long term. Granted, it's already got 23,000 miles on it. Like, I was surprised that the R8 was still pulling those kind of numbers, like, despite the fact it's had, like, someone took it to a tuner and did a whole bunch of crap to it. But to your point, it was a much rarer vehicle when it was new. There's still a much rarer vehicle on the road, although up here in Seattle, we definitely see more R8s than Corvettes because Seattle and weather and whatnot. But yeah, I was surprised by the number as well. Which, of course, brings us to our second challenger for the night, Drysil.
Good luck.
Wow.
Welcome to the Bring a Trailer Challenge. You've seen this online a couple times, and you just saw Shoat go through it. Do you have any questions before we begin?
I understand it completely.
Oh, my goodness. Well, then let's start you off with something easy. This 2023 911 Turbo S Coupe, or this 2024 Bentley Continental GT S V8. Would you like to know a little bit more about the cars?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, this 911 has 4,400 miles on it, which means it is, of course, out of break-in. It is the Turbo S, which means it is the highest spec for street use only 911 they make. It is indeed, of course, more powerful than the GT3s as a result of that. This is a shark blue example over black leather. You would be forgiven for not knowing whether that is shark blue or voodoo blue or Gulf blue or Miami blue or any of the other popular. You can't really mistake it for Gulf, but like it is one of the special Porsche blues. It is a twin turbocharged 3.7 liter flat six. It's got an 8-speed PDK, and it is, of course, all-wheel drive. It's got the 21-inch turbo wheels, PASM, sport exhaust, Burmester audio, PCM. It's got basically everything you can add to it has been added to it, and they were, of course, nice to provide the sticker price and the sticker, which I'm not going to be sharing with you in this context. As far as 911s go, this is basically the fastest street 911 you can possibly have. The 220 mile an hour speed limit or speedometer is not lying to. It'll do 198 with no trouble whatsoever. And they were nice enough to give it an oil change before they threw it up on Bring a Trailer for some reason. I do note, however, that they are careful to call out that the lien holder has a say in what happens to this car. So there may be a little bit of that going on in this equation here that may be influencing over the price. The Bentley. The first sentence of the Bentley would like to let us know that it is optioned with $69,000 worth of options, not least of which includes magenta metallic paint and touring styling and mood lighting for color, the front seat comfort specifications, a name audio system. It is powered by a 4-liter V8 twin turbocharged with an 8-speed automatic transmission, not dual clutch, carbon fiber everywhere that they can cram it. It's got 2,300 miles on it, includes a purchase invoice, 3 keys, so one for you, one for the wife, and one for the mistress, clean Carfax, and a clean Indiana title. The interior leather kind of takes on a little bit of that magenta color with the neutral gray leather when you're looking at the interior photos, which you, of course, do not get. They were also kind enough to provide the original sticker for this, which I am not going to show you. And so now you have to tell me which of these two vehicles sold for more.
I mean, I think the first thing that I'd like to know that we will never know is who on the north side of Indianapolis, because that's the only place where the money is, bought a Bentley and then immediately decided that they didn't want it anymore.
That's a really great question, and I can't get into much more detail about what I think happened there until after the challenge.
I see. Had you given me even a 2023 Bentley, this choice would be easy, because Bentleys just don't hold value in a good way, and so it would be a straightforward choice for a car that rolls off the lot and immediately starts appreciating, lean or no lean. As it stands, it's a little bit trickier, particularly with this lean situation on the Porsche. You didn't say anything about the Carfax or the title on the Porsche. I'm assuming they're both clean.
They're clean.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one. I think I'm gonna take the Porsche just because I know that they do increase in value. This is a desirable car. It's a desirable color. And even if there's some foibles going on, I think that it can potentially do crazy things on the secondary market that would outstrip the Bentley.
Let's find out if you're right after Shoat tells us what he thinks.
I think I agree. You said special colors, and I remembered special colors. You also said all of the high value add-ons that are ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching in my brain.
You almost can't buy a Turbo S without the add-ons. The whole point of the Turbo S is there's not a whole lot left to add to it. I think the ceramics are technically extra. I think you can technically get one with the steels, but most of the things you care about have already been bolted on, with the exception, of course, the $8,000 Burmester system, which, sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going with that. I don't know anything about Bentleys.
All right, so everyone says the Porsche. Everyone's united here, although technically only Drysil's on the hook for this one. Let's find out if he's right. You are. But what you don't know is how much that Bentley has depreciated off the lot. And the number starts with a 1.
Yeah.
And it's got 6 digits.
Yeah.
Whereas that 911 is in its brief nadir off the sticker price, where it's about 15 grand less than what the original owner paid for it. And in 10 years, that's going to be a $400,000 car if it stays in that condition. Whereas the Bentley, well, we've seen Bentleys in this challenge previously that are older than a 2024 Continental, and they tend to be 5-digit cars, and I think you hit the nail on the head. So I pulled up the sticker. The Bentley was, let me go pull that up again. The Bentley was $347,000 off the lot. It has lost $140,000 of value since it rolled off the lot, which is how many miles ago? What did I say? 2,300 miles ago. It's barely broken in, and it's a 2/3 car.
And I bet if you give it 2 more years, it'll lose another 40% of the current value.
It's a reason Porsche people are nuts, and it's because we're usually right. All right, let's go. Last challenge of the night. For you, Drysil, a 8,000-mile 2010 Dodge Viper SRT Coupe, the final edition. That's the last one they made. It's got 8,000 miles on it, which I just said, and we'll talk about that in a sec. Your buddy for this one is... Pause for effect. A 2021 Toyota Land Cruiser Heritage Edition. And this is 14,000 miles. The Viper. It is number 13 of 50 final edition examples produced for the model year. Spent its time in Virginia before the seller bought it in 2011, and the seller added approximately 5,000 miles to it, so the original owner really only put 3 on it, so they basically barely broke it in. There's an 8.4-liter V10, which is basically a truck engine that's been retooled, paired with a 6-speed manual transmission. It's finished in graphite. It's got a mechanical limited slip, 18s up front, 19s in the back. It's got high-intensity discharge headlights, side exhaust outlets, all the fun stuff. It includes a Corsa catback exhaust system and carbon fiber splash guards. Those are new. It's included with service records, the owner's manual, accessories, spare parts, clean Carfax, and a clean Louisiana title in the seller's name. Don't see a whole lot of that. For what it's worth, the leather in the interior looks a little bit worn. It had some fun. It is paired with the Land Cruiser Heritage Edition with 14,000 miles, and it has spent that time in California and Georgia. It's finished in midnight black. It has a 5.7-liter V8 with an 8-speed automatic and the dual-range transfer case. 18-inch BBS forged wheels, crawl control, multi-terrain monitor system, skid plates, heated, ventilated front seats, second-row seating, JBL audio. The seller bought it in 2023, and it is being offered with a clean Carfax and a clean Georgia title. You may wonder, what does a Heritage Edition actually add? And I actually didn't know the answer to that question either. It turns out it's a revised grille, darkened headlight housings, side badges, and black mirror caps. And that's it. That's where we're at.
This feels like the trap of all traps. I don't like... the list of things that I don't know has to be a mile long here.
Well, let's see if we can answer some of that for you. What would you like to know?
Tell me again, 14,000 miles on the Land Cruiser.
Correct.
And the Viper has how many miles on it?
8,000. They've both had 2 owners as far as we can tell.
Yeah. I mean, I'll admit that I don't know a lot about Land Cruisers, right? So I don't have a good sense of what the off-the-lot value is for those.
So this is this was Toyota's it's their top of the line luxury SUV, which they then discontinued and then brought back as a 2-row. It's kind of like it's an almost Lexus, but not quite. They didn't want to lose the Toyota branding. They are legendary for their reliability and off-road capability, but as they became more luxo and larger, people became less and less likely to actually go screw them up, especially if they're in current model years. Though this one is depicted in a field with a forest behind it, the odds of it ever actually doing any real off-road duty, who can say?
Yeah,
of course, the Viper's probably not done any off-road duty either, unless it came to like a cars and coffee thing and tried to get out of the lot. So,
right. I mean, 2010, it's not new, right? And that's worth saying. And there are things that happen when you garage cars for a long time that are problematic, and it's a Dodge. And honestly, reliability, particularly for these Vipers, not fantastic. But, I mean, it's an SRT10. It should have pretty good value. I'm talking myself out of it as I keep talking. But I'm going to take it anyway. I'll take the Viper.
All right. Drysil goes for the Viper. Shoat, any words of wisdom before we unlock these?
Oh, there was some things that were said about how final this edition was. Was there a number associated with how many was produced?
13 of 50.
13 of 50. Okay. I'll bite on the Dodge.
So that's two Dodges.
Right?
Of course, Drysil's is the only one that matters. Let me tell you, and it's been 2 hours since I put this together, so I now also don't remember what they're worth, and that's half the fun of doing this is my memory is terrible. Let's see what they cost. The answer is the Land Cruiser by $14,000, which I'm going to be honest, I was kind of surprised because not only is that a good condition Viper, it's a rare good condition Viper, and while like sports cars have moved on as far as capabilities and speed, it's got side exhausts, man. It's a freaking Viper. Like it's a magical boyhood, like childhood toaster in the bedroom sort of a car. And I don't know anybody that got up in the morning and like brushed their teeth and took a look at their Land Cruiser photo and sighed and went to school. Like, that's just not how it goes. But it's the market that determines all things in capitalism, and here you are, a $96,000 Land Cruiser. Gentlemen, that's the entire show for the night. Thank you, Drysil, and thank you, Shoat, for playing along with our little experiment of live broadcast Bring a Trailer Challenge. Rapid Retro, what do you think? Technology-wise, it makes it work. Was this easy to do over the Discord variant?
Yeah, seemed fine.
I feel like it worked pretty well. I mean, obviously there's things that we can work on with audio and video and movement, but for a first pass, pretty sound.
I think doing one of these a week in between seasons before we get the races back together could be an interesting piece of content. All right,
Yeah,
well, that's... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Nope, I'm just saying I'd be excited to see that.
Cool. Well, in that case, we are out for the night. Thank you, everyone that stuck around. I just realized I didn't do an outro slide for the stuff up here because all the rest of the deck works down in the lab. So, Mara, remember, in Final Cut, please add outro sections and music right here. Thanks, dude. Later, everyone.